House members-elect receive certificates of return. Correspondent examines outlook of the 10th House of Representatives. And more women participation as 10th House of Representatives shapes up. The 10th House of Representatives may be treated to an improved women participation, as there are already more women declared winners than there are in the current assembly. Women participation, however, suffers a dip in the Senate. Hello and thanks for joining us on You and Your Reps on the NTA. I am Victor Azu. Welcome. Let's begin with this report from Mia Ogidi that members-elect for the 10th House of Representatives have been presented certificates of return by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in Abuja. Let's take a look.
A journey of 360 degrees completed by 360 members. INEC giving them the gate pass to the House of Representatives for the 10th National Assembly after getting the endorsement of their constituents. Party and tribal sentiments aside, victory smile and the task of making people-oriented legislations topmost and best of the best is the target.
Working together with colleagues and all that, we will attract the needed development.
For the new president that is coming in, we need to cooperate with him and collaborate with him so that his renewed hope mantra will be actualized to Nigerians.
On a rather motivating note, I met Donatius Matthew, representing Kara Federal Constituency of Kaduna State, the Okada rider from Okada to House of Representatives.
I was an Okada rider before I was appointed as supervisory councillor, after which I contested and won as a councillor. I held various offices politically before getting to this place.
Just a few meters away, I met Chimaobi Sam Atu. His social media account reveals that he was a bus driver before winning the election into the House of Representatives. Unlike Matthew, Chimaobi queries the social media version of his life story.
They say I'm a bus driver. I would say that what they're saying is not true, because they know that I'm going to take my people to where they ought to be. That is why they say I'm a bus driver.
Be that as it may, Providence was kind on them. With the presentation of these certificates of return to members-elect in the House of Representatives, National Assembly elections being conducted by the INEC are gradually coming to an end. Gradually, because 46 by-elections will still be conducted, 11 Senates, 35 House of Representatives.
Meanwhile, the 2023 National Assembly election results declared by the Independent National Electoral Commission for the House of Representatives shows that the governing APC retains its majority in the Green Chamber. Let's join Lamia Ali for a sneak peek into the likely composition of the 10th House.
As indicated on the winners list released by the election umpire, the APC has so far secured 162 seats, followed by the PDP with 102 seats, trailed by the Labour Party, which garnered 34, while NNPP has 18 seats. But beyond the numbers, let's check some of the likely faces that would form the next assembly to be inaugurated in June this year. The two presiding officers in the Green Chamber, Femi Gbajabiamila and Ahmed Idriswasi, and other leaders like the Deputy House Leader Peter Patterson, won in their constituencies. For the minority leadership, it was an upset. The minority leader, Ndudi Lumelu, Minority Whip Gideon Gweni, and his deputy, Shegun Adekoya, all lost out in the polls. The deputy minority leader, Tobi Okechukwu, earlier lost out in the party primaries.
Institutional memory is very important, and we are very much aware that experience is not gotten in the market. But then we'll do our best, those of us who have returned, to cooperate with our colleagues so that we'll do a teamwork in the interest of our own country.
In another turn of events, some House members got elevated, among whom is the House Chief Whip, Mohammed Tahir Mungunu, as they moved to the Senate. Two other House members, Sha'aban Sharada and Mohammed Bago are trying out their luck for the governorship positions in Kano and Niger states. The House will welcome many new faces, as about two-thirds of the members will step into the Green Chamber for the first time as lawmakers. Among them is the son of the Kaduna State Governor, Mohammed Bello El-Rufai.
And the Beijing Conference of 1995 was said to have given Nigerian women the impetus to fully participate in politics upon the return to democratic governance in 1999. What has been the outcome of this renewed push for active participation of women, especially in the legislature, which is the fulcrum of democracy? Let's take a look at the performance of women in the recent National Assembly polls.
In the 24 years since the return to democracy, Nigeria's 469-member bicameral legislature has witnessed low women performance in each election cycle. From 1999, the number of women candidates that secure seats to the National Assembly has hovered between 2 to 5%. Attempts to have increased women representation through constitution amendments at the National Assembly and the larger political space failed. Both the Senate and the House of Representatives voted against the bill seeking to create 111 special seats for women in the National Assembly. Bill to grant 35% political party positions and 35% in the cabinet. In the recently concluded National Assembly elections, it was another poor outing for the female folk. From the results declared so far, less than 20 women clinched the seats in both the Senate and the House of Representatives. Among the casualties is the only woman principal officer in the 9th Assembly, who is the Deputy Majority Whip at the House in Kiruka Onyejocha.
Looking at other crimes in Africa, like Rwanda and others, they had it part of their constitution, so it made it easy for them to have that number. The political parties are not bringing them more on the table, and also another reason could be even the women themselves. Some women are afraid, not like they don't want to come out, but some of them are afraid because of the volatile nature of what happens in the political space out there. And so some of them are afraid. And then also the volatility of that space. And then also issues of resources.
Record has, however, been set by some women lawmakers like Khadija Bukar, who has won consecutively for 5 times, and Benilar, who is returning to the House for the 4th time.
In politics, you win some and you lose some all the time. So go in with a clear mind. As long as you're relevant and the people like you, you can sustain yourself in politics, because politics is all about people. Without people, there will be no politics. You need to be around when people need you. You need to be around to assist people, to listen to them, to counsel them, to actually be involved in their lives, not look down on them and, use them only when you need them during the political elections and things like that, but always be there for them.
Breaking the glass ceiling may be gradual, and women are not letting up in the spirit of never say never. With the record of Patricia Ete as a former speaker, women remain hopeful that someday women lawmakers might again occupy the seats of the presiding officers in either the Green or the Red Chamber.
Meanwhile, the members-elect have been speaking on what Nigerians can expect from the 10th House of Representatives. Let's hear them.
Very much. As you can see, the varieties of political parties that came together to form the member-elect, circle at the moment, it's an evidence of our advancement in democracy, because that entails varieties of ideas. Those political parties have various ideologies. The combination of that will enhance our approach towards using legislative intervention to solve our needs. So the perspective from which the House will view issues, national issues, will be varied. Because those political parties have manifestos and ideologies that defines them. And it is from that view they'll be looking at debate. So you're going to have, stormy debate on issues, which is healthy for our democracy. In the process of that stormy debate, we are going to harvest the best opinion, national opinion in solving national issues. So I'm expectant that the coloration that these varieties of political parties coming on board, like we have about 8 of them, is going to show in the quality of legislations that we bring on board, and how we do our oversight function, and also a new energy will be added on how we represent our people. So it's something that is healthy. But coming from the Ninth Assembly and the model that we laid down, which was, acrimony-free, rancor-free relationship with the executive, we are going to ensure that there is a continuity, in that, because it was healthy to nation building. And I also want to point out that that does not mean in any way that we're going to jeopardize the intent of the doctrine of separation of power. That is not going to be thrown to the trash can. But in observing that, we will understand that though we are 3 arms of government, we are one government. Therefore, that we belong to a particular arm of government does not in any way make us, strangers to the government and government objectives. So if there's any national objective, we are going to key into it, but from the perspective of the legislature, ensuring that at all times, better laws are put in place to replace obsolete laws that are no longer solving the dynamic needs of our people. The gap that is created in such obsolete laws will be bridged with the introduction of the innovations that this new energy will bring on board. So it will be a mixture of the new energy and the old model coming together to issue the best for our nation. So we are looking forward to that.
The few of us that have survived are going to sit and revisit those bills and ensure that they are passed by the House and the Senate. And we'll also use this opportunity to seek for leadership positions. The few women that have come would be cushioned if, for instance, a woman becomes the speaker or the deputy speaker. I rightly qualify for any of these. I'm from the Southeast and I'm of the ruling class, the APC. And I have the support of my governor and the support of my party. So this is a good opportunity to properly situate those of us who have survived and are in the front line. If a woman is not just elected to be a floor member or chair a common committee, but elevated at the table as a principal officer, it becomes a lot easier that you have put us on the table when issues of women and women in politics and womanhood are being discussed. So I use this avenue to appeal to all Nigerians and all returning members and the leadership of the all progressive parties and all other parties within the House during this constitution of the leadership to consider ceding the post and the position of the speaker or deputy speaker to a woman so that you can bridge the gender deficit. I tell you that the numbers we had in the 9th Assembly was very, very, very infinitesimal. Now it's even further reduced. Like the wind has swept almost all the women away. So that's why I make the strong appeal that this 10th Assembly do elevate a woman to Senate President, Deputy Senate President, Speaker, Deputy Speaker, as the case may be, for us to cushion the deficit in the gender balance.
I'll be going into the 10th Assembly to consolidate on the experience of the past. And from the legislative angle, we'll be focusing on areas that are of legislative interest to me, like the Electoral Act, for instance. We want to look at the Electoral Act, particularly the areas dealing with special focus on electoral offenses. Now, the focus has always been on the politicians, but with less emphasis on the breaches committed by the electoral officers. And many of them have gotten away with a lot of breaches. So we intend to look at the law such that those who deliberately circumvent the law, Electoral Act, so such as to distort the wish of the people, have to pay for their offenses committed. So also, we have also been interested in the CBN Act, looking at the powers of the governor of the central bank, the appointment of the governor, such that we do not have a repeat of a situation we had with the change of the naira notes. And also, we'll be looking at the law such as to insulate the office of the governor of central bank from politics, given our past experience. And in particular for Lagos State, we're going to look at local government creation, because right now, in the last 10 years or more, we have had some local government created that have not been recognized constitutionally. So we'll also pay attention to this area, such that the constitution will be amended in a manner as to empower the states to create local governments without any constitutional encumbrance, as the need arises.
We will redouble our efforts to continue to provide good leadership, good legislative engineering, good representation, and good oversight on behalf of my constituents. Legislative engineering is a very rigorous process, and to have this kind of turnover is a great deal of work. We need the cooperation of the executive, we need the cooperation of the judiciary for us to move on. Because of the turnover we have, a number of our colleagues will have to learn from the process, from the grass, from the beginning. So it's a hell of work. The few of us that remain, it's incumbent on us to carry our new members along, to take them through the process, and then I can see that what I can see ahead of us, a great deal of job because of the turnover.
By God's grace, we'll bring a new developments, new things. We're going to bring new changes because of the situation we are finding ourselves in the country. The country has become so divided. Our major concern will be to unite the country.
Under this bill shall be both in electronic and manual with the procedure.
Those in favor of the amendment say aye. Against say nay. Nay. The ayes have it.
And Mr. Speaker, we have all agreed that these necessary changes should be effected.
Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it.
caucus is a group, an interest group within the legislature. You have political caucus groups. For example, in the House, we have, I think, 6 or 7 political parties in the House. You have APC, which is the majority, followed by PDP. We have ABGA. We have PRP. We have NNPP. We have what do you call them? Young Progressive Party also. They are about, yeah, so each party now has a caucus, depending on whatever they to address the interests of its members, to articulate the interests of its members and how they want to achieve the aims and objectives for which they were elected. They protect the interests of their party, the programs of their party, and how they will impact on those who elected them. Then you also have regional caucuses. Even within the parties, you have also regional caucuses. Northern Caucus, South Caucus, North Central Caucus, Northeast Caucus. Each caucus has its own leader. Now to articulate the problems and interests of those regions, areas that they are representing. And then you also have state caucuses. Apart from the regional caucuses, you also have state caucus. Each state has a caucus, depending on how many members they are there. Also, the interest of those caucuses, state caucuses, is to articulate the interests of their members and how they impact on those people who elected them. So it's a group, is many groupings within the legislature to achieve a particular political or economic objective.
And that has been You and Your Reps for this week. Thank you for watching. I am Victor, as well. See you next time.